Hey folks, Jason Ballas with OutdoorProductReview.com. Welcome back for our 2014 bow review. Real quick shout out to all our sponsors. We have Jim Fletcher. They're the maker of the Fletch hook release that we're using this year. We have the QAD. It is the Ultra Rest HDX from Quality Archery Designs. Probably the best drop away rest. And I'm not just saying this because they're one of our sponsors, but I've used them ever since they came out back when the TM Hunter days were just over. I've used the QAD rest. One of the best drop away rests with the most clearance that you can get. FOB, starflight.com with 2 R's. The maker of fletching only better. We're using that on the end of our arrows. You guys have seen me use that before. I use them hunting all the time. And then we have Sika gear. Some of the best hunting clothing that you could find, hands down. Might be a little expensive at first, but I'll tell you what, I still have the same set from the original purchase that I made on them back in, I want to say, almost 10 years ago. And I hunt pretty hard in them. So you guys, it's a quality equipment, quality gear that's going to last you a lifetime. All right, so without further ado, the bow that we're going to be reviewing today is Bear Archery's Agenda 6. All right, this is their newest line of bows that Bear's come out with. And every year, I know I always say this, I can't wait to see what they come up with next year. Well, here we are. This is something, every year it just seems to just radically change. And not for the worst, for the better. I can't remember how many years ago it was that Bear Archery came out with the sort of dual vibration dampening STS system here. And they've really come a long way in the way they've done this one. It's like offset from the main riser. It's a separate piece with little flanged hooks that capture it. If you guys remember, I think it was the Anarchy and some of the other bows, they had that little rubber piece, but the rubber would wear out after a little while. I noticed, of course, after the review. So this one here, it's a hardened rubber. I think it's gonna last a heck of a lot longer than the other stuff that they've had before. And that wasn't a big thing. You could always replace it, and they were very inexpensive. And if it saves you from having to put on string leeches or something along the lines to slow the string down, I'm all for it. So dual string suppressor system right here. So that's pretty nice. All right, let's talk about the Agenda 6. They have an Agenda 6 and Agenda 7. And the biggest difference is going to be your speed, your IBO speed. The Agenda 6 IBO speed is 350 feet per second, 30 inches with a 70-pound bow, a 5 grain per inch arrow. Our arrow, as you guys know, is 408 grains. The bows are all set at 29 inches and set to 70 pounds. So we're almost there. It's just I'm not a 30-inch draw, so that's why all the bows are set at 29 inches. Overall weight of the bow is 3.9 pounds. So it's under that magical 4-pound number. It's a meaty bow, which meaning that it's like you feel like you have something in your hands. I mean, it's not heavy, but yet it's solid. Very solid. The riser's completely solid throughout. One thing this year they do have is they have almost like a riser vibration dampening system with these little cutouts, and then they have it so it absorbs shock. So you have these rubber flanges sticking out that are going to absorb shock through the riser. So your bow, all the shock's coming in, going through the limbs, down. First place it's going to hit is that vibration dampening thing on both sides of the riser. So that's really important, especially bow that's shooting 350 feet per second IBO. It's got a 6-inch brace height. So a shorter brace height, which is going to give you that little bit more speed that you need. Usually though, with a bow that the shorter the brace height, the less forgiving it is to shoot. I'm not quite sure about this. The axle on this is 32 inches. However, it has a very long riser. It's got preloaded limbs on it, and it's the quad limbs that you guys have seen. All right, now the let off on the bow is only 75%. So you're going to gain speed from having that shorter brace height and a less let off. So the less let off that you have, the faster the bow is going to be. However, most of the times it's going to be less forgiving. Now, what I mean by that is the creep. But I haven't even drawn the bow back, so I'm excited to check this out. New this year, too, is the Bear Hinge guard. It takes place at the cable slide, and there's no wheels or ball bearings or anything that the cables slide on. They just independently move in these little grooves that are set on here. However, this hinges back when you come to full draw. So I don't know if you guys remember, like 1997, they came out with a Jennings bow that Jennings had that one, and it would move with it. It's sort of the same concept, except for this one's a little bit more high speed, low drag, and definitely the bow's a lot faster, because I had one of those Jennings Buckmasters, and I could probably run faster than the arrow was. Right, the cams on the bow is the H13 cams that Bear came out with this year. Supposed to deliver the speed and the comfortable shootability of the bow. So we're going to check all that out. But you know, overall, the Realtree all-purpose green, you can get this in numerous colors. You can look at their website, and they have all kinds of great stuff. Plus, they got great accessories that you can accessorize out the bow with, from sights to rest to whatever. But if you guys are going to shoot a rest, I recommend that Ultra Rest HDX from QAD. Probably the best rest I've ever shot. All right, so all we did is we put that string loop on there because we're using that fletch hook. Now, fletch hook's simple. You just put it on there and you're ready to go. But their rubberized grip, that's something really nice I've liked about Bear bows for a long time, is that grip's nice and rubbery. It doesn't want to slip out of your hands. It absorbs shock because it is made of rubber. So that's another added benefit. You're going to have the double string suppressors set up with the shock absorption in the riser. The bow probably won't make any noise whatsoever. But why don't we do a draw test? We'll shoot the bow. I'm going to shoot through the chronograph and see what kind of speed we're getting. Remember, it's 408 grains for that arrow. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we got it set up now. 408 grain arrow, all set up. Nothing else on the bow, no stabilizer, nothing to absorb the shock or whatever. All right, we're going to go ahead and put that fletch hook in there. We'll draw the bow back. And it comes back to a solid wall. Pretty smooth throughout. There's not that big let off like when you draw some bows. It just sort of comes off and you're like, ah, there we go. This one comes straight back. But let's check the creep. Not much creep in there whatsoever. But it's not too bad. It doesn't want to rip your shoulder out. You know, some of the bows I've reviewed that wants to rip your shoulder out. Let's try move our hands side to side. It sort of moves just a little bit, but if you're shooting a bow properly, you shouldn't have a problem. Shouldn't have a problem at all. So, all right, let's go ahead and shoot this bow. Yeah, there's no valley. There's no creep in the bow. All right, so your bow is going to start out going fast instead of having to work up over that draw force curve. So when you shoot this bow, you want to make sure you're back at a solid wall and you're set and ready. Coming back, you have to hold it back all the way. I'm going to touch my two fingers here. There wasn't any noise. It just sort of came back and then deadened in my hand. No noise, no hand shock whatsoever. An arrow went down there pretty darn fast. I'll tell you. Let's watch that in slow motion. You guys will see. It rocked back and went back right to where it was. No noise whatsoever. Nice and fast. That fob flew beautiful down there. All right. Watch this slow motion. We're going to shoot it through the chronograph, and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, shooting that Bear Agenda 6 through the chronograph, 408 grain arrow, 29 inches, 70 pounds. (299.7 feet per second). All right, there you folks saw it. 299.7 feet per second. 300 feet per second, basically. And that's about right as far as the IBO goes. No hand shock. Arrow flies just like a dart down there. The bow really shot nice. The only thing I'd have to say against it is that there's no creep whatsoever. 75% let off, you're holding a good bit of the bow back. I mean, we complain about that, but back when I first really started bow hunting, it was 50% let off and went to the 60% let off, 65. And I'll tell you what though, it is fast. It's a nice shooting bow. I love the grip on it. It's a nice fat grip. I like those fat grips like that. And tell you, I think if you guys get a chance to shoot a Bear, archery has come so far in the last 10 years. You know, for a while there they faded away, and then I did the Instinct and numerous other, I couldn't even tell you how many bows I've reviewed from Bear Archery in the last few years, but they have come out with stuff every year that really impresses me. And the Agenda 6, if you guys get a chance, go shoot one of these. Dick's Sporting's good, Cabela's, any of the big name places, they all have, you know, the bear bows, and you guys can check them out. Check out your small pro shops too, because that's important as well. So definitely great shooting bow. The creep is the only concern I have on it. It doesn't have much creep. You're holding back that, you know, that extra weight because it's 75% let off instead of 80, but definitely getting some speed. It's accurate, flies like a dart down there. So check out the Bear Agenda 6 or the 7. 7's a little bit slower, about 10 feet per second slower, but I don't think you guys would be disappointed. Bear Archery's done it again, and they make a great product. So for Outdoor Product Review, I'm Jason Ballas. We're going to see you guys on our next review.